I ran in a CrossFit class, and my youngest kid was like, Mom, I've never seen you run. Like, I don't remember ever seeing you run. That's the first time you've ever run. And I was like, holy crap. I've really been on the sidelines for a long time. My kids don't remember me running. But I'm Colleen Wallace. I'm from Michigan. I'm 53 years old today. And I am a mom to two absolutely amazing girls. I was struggling a lot with just the atypical things of being a woman coming in her 50s. A month before I turned 50, I looked in the mirror and I was 240 pounds. Didn't recognize myself, didn't recognize anything about myself. No idea how I had gotten there, just was. But had never been anybody who pursued anything other than just taking care of my kids and doing that. There's right next to nothing you can tell me that I haven't experienced myself. I'm a single mom. I had no support system. I raised my two kids. They're freaking amazing. I was the oldest living member of my family at 39. I was widowed at 34. I blew my ankle in a compound fracture. Spent a year and a half. Really, in all fairness, after the first 4 months, I was scared to death I was going to die because I had an infection they couldn't get rid of. I had 10 surgeries on this leg. I had to go to Chicago to save my leg. If I'd stayed in Michigan, we were taking it off, but I just wasn't ready to settle for that. But I always told the doctors when they took me in, I have to wake up off this table because my kids need me, and if that leg's going to kill me, take my leg. There's one last time you get to pick up your kids, and my youngest one was 5 years old when I broke this, and she still would run and pick her up. I spent a year and a half on crutches. I had an apparatus that I couldn't put this foot down for 6 months. I had an external fixator. It was all robotic, everything else like that. I couldn't pick my kid up, and by the time I got out of all of that and got strength back and got off crutches, she no longer needed to be picked up. So as a mom, you look in the mirror, and when you don't recognize yourself and you're giving everything you have to your job, but you don't have any energy left to give to them, everybody's getting by, but they're not getting the best you that you can be because you don't have the best you anymore. And then being that close to 50, I have more sand in the bottom of the hourglass than I have in the top. So I started on a fitness journey. I got pretty physically fit. I took care of a lot of things, but then I was still having a lot of residual menopausal things, hot flashes that could just send you crazy. Didn't like the way that I looked, didn't like the way that I felt. I had been watching Callyn for a number of years at that point on social media. I had known Callyn from back when she was with Stock Show U. Her and I had worked on the project together, and when she first came out and she was doing all of her bodybuilding, it was so impressive that I was just like, I don't even know what she's doing, and there's no way I can do that because I can't do a sit-up. So that's probably not going to be for me. And then I just kept watching her stories and kept watching what she was doing. And at that point, I had done some hard stuff, and I was like, this is kind of like my lifeline. This is the rope out of the boat to save my life. So let's see how this goes. So I reached out to her and signed up for a 3-month consultation, everything else like that. And I gave her a whole list of what is it I want to change. And it was just getting the hormones under control, just getting confident in my own body, and going from there. And so that was how I started my journey with Callyn. Callyn was straightforward. I entered into the thing with Callyn, and in our first conversation, so we're doing my intake, and she's asking me all these questions and everything else like that. And I have my objectives in my head is, okay, well, I just want to lose weight and I want to do all these things. And before we could even get started, Callyn was like, how is your sleep? And I was like, my sleep is crap. It's always been crap. Since I lost my husband, I sleep 2 hours, 2.5 hours at the most, and then I'm awake every hour after that. And she's like, we're fixing that. She didn't even care about my weight loss. She didn't care about any of that stuff. She just went on the attack to my sleep and what my body responded to, and why are you waking up, and what is this doing? And she set out a very detailed, easy to follow. Here's what you do. Here's when you eat. And she gave me exactly what to eat. And then she attacked things that I didn't even think about. Probably my biggest challenge would be mental. The mental game of, can you do it? And then making sure you stick through it. So it's not that it wasn't anything I couldn't do, but I loved the challenge that it presented. So can you take yourself for the next 3 months and just absolutely dial it in, stick to it, not step off track, not eat off track, not go anywhere, do anything other than what you're supposed to do? And my aha moment was when I could consistently eat what I was programmed to eat, never feel bloated, never feel like just that really gross, heavy, you go to bed and you just like it's there all day. It just, you never felt like you were light. I was eating more than I've ever eaten, more times a day. I never felt heavy. Like it was just like, okay, oh, that's what eating well feels like. Huh, I don't feel like I'm weighted down. So I do CrossFit. It used to be something that would you literally kick my ass. Now they can program me a 40-minute Metcon. Yep, good. Like my energy is off the charts. Like energy, recovery. Everybody else will walk into the gym complaining about how sore they were from yesterday's workout. I'll be like, you have my age, I'm not sore. Like, I'm good to go. Let's go. And so those have just been major to know I can recover, to know that it's like literally we put aging in reverse and I can't waste that. So in that, just making that decision that I was worth it. And what I very quickly learned was when I make myself better, that's not selfish. That is the best me then that goes back to take care of everyone else. So I've been able to set a really good example for my kids that taking care of yourself is absolutely mandatory, because when you take care of yourself, then you can take care of those that you love better. Because when you're not taking care of yourself and you're only 70%, then you're only giving them 70%. Whereas if you take care of yourself and you're 100%, then you got 100% back to give. Some of the biggest hacks I've learned along the way is meal prepping. It makes life a million times easier. So I am a really big fan of Ziploc baggies because I can put 3 to 4 ounces of chicken in those. I can put a quarter cup of blueberries. I can have 6 Ziploc baggies ready to go, and all I gotta do is throw them away. Like having that stuff at the ready stops, because you're gonna get hungry, and if you don't have the right stuff to fuel with, you're gonna put something in that's not right to fuel with, then you're gonna pay the consequences for that. So just making sure the right stuff is around that you can grab and eat when you need to eat. If there were 3 words that I would use to describe Callyn, it would be, you'll have to cut it, but motherfucking awesome. On a PC, life-altering experience. In being able to have the success, have the willpower, have the ability, have the support, have the tools, just the entire toolbox was given to me to say, okay, go do this. And that Callyn puts that in a believable package. And then all you have to do is execute. And in that can change your life. I think a lot of us approach, okay, well, we're going to get with a dietitian so we can lose weight. Well, that's great. There's a whole lot of people that will sell you a whole lot of stuff to make you lose weight. Callyn took a whole body approach. She taught me what to seek, what's good for me. And in that, that's what I now chase after. Seek that feeling good. Seek the things that fulfill you, that fill you up and make you the best you, as opposed to stuff that feels like weight. If it's the relationship that's weighing you down, then it shouldn't be there. If it's the job that's weighing you down, go do something else. There's a sacrifice if you stick with the stuff that's not good for you. It's not always about what the scale says, where the body fat, what did that feel like? And in that, very quickly saw when I paid attention to what I ate, and she helped dial me into listening to my body, knowing what felt good and what didn't feel good. Okay, that made it a lot easier to understand, and that made it highly successful. So it's totally different than somebody who's just like, well, yeah, like, you know what you need to do is you need to eat a bunch of fruits and vegetables and we can get the scale down. A lot of people see the outside physical changes. You dropped 80 pounds. I see it. Yep. The stuff that happens on the inside when you finally think you're worth it, when you finally know that you can do it, when you're finally good at getting uncomfortable, when you finally can follow through and see something from start to finish, when you can see yourself through a different lens, when you can be the best person that you can be, when you start showing up for others in a way better light, in a way better mindset, in a way better frame of mind, it's a life-altering experience. Now to be able to say, I can ask my body to do things that I've never been able to do before. So the challenging part was just changing mindset, getting to where you need to go, and then loving the challenge of it. Like learning to make that into, yeah, I can make that my bitch. Let's go. Not guaranteed any. So I have more sand in the bottom of that hourglass than I got in the top. And I'm not letting another day go out with a bunch of excuses. Anybody can do this. Everybody should do this. Do it for yourself, because it's what you need to do. Anybody who says I'm too old, I started this when I was over 50. The last time I walk around in a bikini all summer, last time I wore a bikini was 4, because I haven't had any body positivity since that age. So I was in my 50s. It's worth it. It feels really, really good to feel good. And like this is turning back time. Like this just is rolling back the clock for me, giving me more time that I wasted coming up with excuses as to why I couldn't do this. And now it's like nothing has stopped me from doing this. So the reason I can do what I do, go all day, have energy for days, is because of Callyn Hahn and her nutrition. She gave me back the rest of my life. She also gave me back. I couldn't pick up my kid when she was 8, but at 18, I could pick her up. So, thank you, Callyn.